Hello everybody, thank you for selecting this video. Today I'm going to talk about one very important question, which is at what age to retire. That's the main subject in this video. But before I'm going to start with this, I want to disclosure that this video is for educational purpose only. The calculations are based on hypothetical estimates to help you reflect on retirement timing. It is not personal financial advice. For personalized advice, consult your financial planning advisor. And for more information, visit the Social Security Administration website. So the content of this video, it is, what does retirement means? What are the minimum credits required to retire? How can you earn credits? How many credits can you earn per year? How much money is needed to earn one credit? What is the Social Security statement and where can I find it? Key consideration for making retirement decision. Math critical thinking, dollar versus time. How much you can earn while still receiving benefits. This is in general what we are going to talk about this time. So what does retirement means? It means moving into a new phase of life with more freedom and time for the things you love. At a certain point in our lives, we start thinking about the day we will retire. Of course, this doesn't happen when we are young, but it becomes a dream to step away from a full-time formal job and start enjoying life the way we truly want. The first thing we want to leave behind is the strict schedule, waking up early, commuting through traffic, meeting deadlines, navigating challenging personalities, and always focusing on earning that paycheck. Retirement is about planning to have time to enjoy life, spend moments with family and friends, pursue hobbies, travel, or simply relax. It is a major lifestyle change, and at the same time, it requires carefully planning to ensure that we are financially secure and comfortable. So that's why I'm bringing up this subject from the perspective of math and other practical considerations. Each of us needs to think carefully about the numbers and our personal financial situation to decide the best age to retire. It is an individual and personal decision. What are the minimum credits required to retire? To qualify for Social Security retirement benefits, you need a minimum of 40 credits, which is usually earned by working about 10 years. How can you earn credits? You earn Social Security credit by working and paying Social Security taxes. How many credits can you earn per year? You can earn up to 4 Social Security credits per year, regardless of how much you earn beyond the requirement amount for each credit. So 4 credits per year multiplied by 10 years equal 40. How much money is needed to earn one credit? In 2025, the value of one Social Security credit is $1,810 in earnings. This means you need to earn $7,240 in 2025 to earn all 4 credits. Each year, the amount of earnings needed for credits goes up slightly as average earnings levels increase. The credits you earn remain on your record even if you change jobs or have no earnings for a while. It is your personal account. Whatever you deposit there, based on your job, is going to stay there. What is the Social Security statement and where can I find it? The Social Security statement shows your earnings history and estimates the benefits you and your family may receive, helping you track your progress toward retirement, disability, and survivor benefits. Everyone who contributes to Social Security has their own account. You can create a personal login at the Social Security Administration website to access your account. This access provides you personalized estimate monthly retirement benefits based on your earning records. Yeah, when you log in today, you are going to see the chart. Later on in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how that looks. But you get to see all your information there and the estimate monthly payments for your retirement. From the 62 to the 70s age of earning record. It is very important to log into your Social Security account and review your earning records because your future benefits are calculated based on this information. The report shows the year you work and the total earnings taxes for Social Security and Medicare each year. Reviewing your statement carefully is crucial. If you notice missing or incorrect information, you should report it to the Social Security to ensure your future benefits are accurately calculated. That's why it's important to get credit access to your account and review and find out exactly what is missing. Because that information is the way that you can validate if you have all the data that's supposed to be there, which is the one that is going to be used by the Social Security to calculate your benefits. Key considerations for making retirement decisions. The following are general considerations to evaluate the age at which you may want to retire. You may have additional reasons to consider, but these are the most common factors. The first one is related to financial readiness. Review your savings, investments, and retirement accounts. Important. If you have been working, it could be you have good savings, it could be you have been making some investments, you had some retirement accounts, so you have to consolidate, put together all those numbers to see if that is enough for you or is a good things that can back up you if you retire. Check your estimated monthly Social Security retirement benefits. Of course, if you had the total here, certain amount of money, plus whatever you're going to receive, so you can just find out little by little if you are going to have enough money for your lifestyle. Calculate your total expected income from all sources. That's what I'm saying. That's add this one plus this one, any other that you have. I just mentioned a few here. Compare your estimated monthly income based on these three things, plus any other that you have, to your monthly expenses to ensure you can maintain your desired lifestyle. In other words, to see if the money that you're going to receive, it covers at least your expenses and probably give you an extra money to enjoy. Health condition and expected longevity. It is important to evaluate if you are in good or not good health condition and the expectation of lifetime you have. I will say here that if you are in a very good condition, you can have at the same time, you can think that well, and now I am 62, 63, 64, whatever the age you have, because I am in good condition. I don't know if I'm going to be in good condition at 67 or 70, and I have probably, based on my financial analysis, I have a good money to survive with the pension and my savings, my investments. So I will enjoy that money because I have good health conditions. But at the same time, let's see the opposite. You do not have a good condition or you have some medical issues, some diseases, so you have to evaluate, well, I have certain problems. I prefer to enjoy the money right now from my pension because based on my expectation of life, I don't know if I'm going to make it to the 65 or 67. That's something that you have to review by yourself. Evaluate is especially the early retirement may affect the long-term health costs. This is very important. Remember, if you are working, we don't know if you have the health insurance, your employer provide you some health insurance coverage, some benefit like that. If you retire, you're no longer to have that one. So, and if you are younger than 65, so you're not going to have Medicare. So it could be you can find another way to have healthcare costs, but that cost is going to be probably something that is going to impact your analysis, your financial analysis here. So it's something that consider. If I retire and if I have a health insurance coverage, but if I retire, how much I going to pay for that to continue with some coverage? Very difficult sometimes, but the decision is going to have to make it early, soon or early. Lifestyle goals. So when you retire, you have to think about how do you want to spend your retirement years. Traveling, hobbies, volunteering, part-time work, etc. Right? It has to be something. What am I going to do if I retire? So that's very important to have in consideration. Ensure your desired retirement lifestyle aligns with your financial resources. That's what we talk about here, right? If your monthly income, estimated income, is going to cover the expenses and give you some extra money to probably to travel, to do the hobbies, volunteering, etc. Act on your income and benefits. If your employer provides benefits such as health insurance, retirement benefits, stock options, and your current income level may influence in your retirement decision. I already mentioned that one, but that's true. If you have a good health insurance, very good benefits from the company, retire from the company, 401k, who knows? They just probably give you stocks to stay there. And at the same time, you have a very good salary or income. So you have to consider how much is going to impact you just to retire or not at a certain age. Okay, so it's a lot of things to keep in mind. My critical thinking, dollar versus time. Here are some ideas and approach you can consider as well. Compare how the estimated benefit change depending the age you retire. Yeah, that means I'm going to show you in a few minutes that the Social Security Administration provide you a statement and also provide you an estimate how much is going to be your pension at 62, 63, 64, 65, up to 70s. So there is an increase, a little bit increase between the years. So you have to compare and find out if that benefits, in that increase, it makes sense to stay and to delay the retirement. Calculate the total expected income over your lifetime if you retire early or later. That's the way that you calculate based on the Social Security statement. Back to the same comment that I did in the number 1. So you have to find out if that makes sense to start early or late. There's a lot of things to take in consideration. Also answer the following questions. It is worth waiting to receive a higher monthly benefits considering life expectancy? That's a good question. And everybody has to answer by themselves. Does my current financial situation allow me to maintain my lifestyle if I retire early? Another thing that has to be answered by everybody. It is better to take certain amount of money at age 62 or wait until 65, 67 or 70 to get certain amount of money. After thinking about inflation and time, remember that inflation is something that impacts the income and how much you can buy with that income at the 62, 65, 67, 70, etc. That the extra money justify continuing to work versus extra free time. At some point you can make a lot of money, you just decide to stay with the money instead of just enjoy the free time. So it's a personal decision. It is very important to create different scenarios as optimistic, right, pessimistic, and moderate. And at the same time, create at least 3 plans to face the scenarios. Plan A, Plan B, Plan C. So it's something that you had to do by yourself. Because every single person has a different point of view of respect of the life, respect of the money, respect of the hobbies. Some people want just to work. Some people just want to work and enjoy the life. Some people just want to enjoy the life and try to don't work anymore. So it's but a lot of variations depending on the personality and the needs for every single person. Okay, so now let's use a practical and visual math example to illustrate the primary goal for this video, dollar versus time. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to move to Excel and I'm going to explain exactly with exercise how to try to evaluate by yourself in your particular case how can the numbers or the calculation can probably help you to make a decision. So let me move to Excel. Okay, so we are here in Excel. I just want to mention that this is an example on how the statements looks like if you log into the Social Security Administration website. So usually, obviously, this is for X, Y, and Z person, who knows who, okay, because this is just an example. But usually they say for your name, personalized monthly retirement benefits estimate. They use the word estimate. So what they just show you is here is the years at the 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, and 70, how much money you're going to receive per month. In this case, I create this exercise based on $650, making some increments here, right, to get in this to this point. So this is what you're going to see in your statement. Obviously, there is more information about if you have a disability and other things, but at this point, I want just to focus on this. Again, your information is going to be in a Social Security Administration portal under your account. So you have to create your own login. So based on this exercise, which is estimate, which is a fictitious numbers, okay, I'm going to do the analysis in Excel. So I'm going to hide what I have here. Okay, so let's see, based on this information, I just make some analysis here. I just want to focus in the main things for your critical thinking. So you can just find out with your own numbers what is the real decision you want to make at some point. But for illustration purpose only, I say that this person just in a 62 is going to have 650 a month, 63 702, 64 758 16, 65 889 81, 8084 at 66, 95 355 at 67, more than 1068, 69, and 70. So if you see between years, in this example is an 8% increase. I just use this one not because it is always like that. It's just as an example. Okay, I just use a flat and fixed rate, but it could be 10 here, 3, 4, who knows. That's why it's very important that you log into your account and find out what is the percent of increase that you have in between years, because this depends on many other variables. And the way that the Social Security calculate this one, it is something else that we are not going to discuss here. So based on that one, let's assume that the Social Security has this information. I put in here. So what this say is, if you retire at 62, you're going to get 650. But if you get retired at 63, it's $702, which means you are going to receive $52 per month, according with this exercise, right? Additional to the 650. So this is the way that you probably, maybe you can just want to analyze the situation. So anyway, again, this is just a person that I just apply just for illustration purpose, not because that's the number. Everybody has different numbers when they log into this account, and you can just calculate in between, and you can just find exactly what is that for your specific account. Anyway, so what I'm going to focus is what happens if you retire at 62 or you decide to retire at 65 or 67, which is the full, at least is the full age to retire. So what happened here is this one. If you start doing receiving $62, I'm sorry, 650, and you decide to retire at 62, so you are going to receive the money for 62, 63, 64, 65, and 66. before you get into the 67 years old. If that means you are going to receive $45,759 ahead of time, right? That's one of the way to analyze this. You can have your own, but this is one of the things that I want to explain. So what happened here is, if you decide to not do that 62, you say, no, I definitely am going to wait for 9 when I get 67, because I'm going to get $955.06 every month. So which means you're going to have, starting from the 67, based on this example, you are going to get $305.06 additional compared with the 650, because 650 plus 305.06 is 955.06. Well, that's a decision that you want to make. It's fine, but let me show you something. In the meantime, if you wait to get to this point, so what you're going to do is just you are going to keep this 45,000 away from you. You're not going to receive that money just because you want to wait for 305. Of course, if you retire with any of this amount, especially 650, that is going to be for the rest of your life. Plus, obviously, there are some adjustments based on the inflation that the government do every single year. Okay? So you start with 650, and as they adjust for inflation, it could be they add $20 more or $10 more, whatever it is. But at this time, we are not going to worry about that. I just want to mention that. So you say, okay, I'm going to wait for this one. So in the meantime, that means you're not going to receive all this money. Which for this case, again, I emphasize, this is based on my hypothetical example. But you can do the same with your own numbers and evaluate your own situations. Okay? But at the same time, if I don't receive this 45,000 just because I wait for this one, okay, that means it's 45,759.49 that I'm going to take away just to wait for this number. So if I divide the 45,759.49 divided by 305.06, that means I'm going to sacrifice 150 months of income, which means to recoup that 45,000, I had to, from now on, after I just start receiving this money, that $45,000 that I don't receive ahead of time is going to be offset in 12.5 years. So in other words, if you have 67 and you technical, based on this math, you have to wait 12.5 years to compensate the money that you don't receive because you don't want to do at 62, you are going to be 79 years old. So that's what is very important to find out. Every one of you has to find out what is your financial situation and your health situation and your desired planning, and what is your the way that you face the life. It is a personal decision, but this is just a math calculation. So now, another thing that I want to say is that if you before you get to the 67, there is a limitation of the income if you retire at 62. So you're going to make $7,800. But the dimension for 2025, if you do this year, the limitation, if you want to continue working with a part-time or something like that, per year is 23,400, right? So that means for the 62, 63, 64, 65, 63, it is going to be certain amount of money. This amount is adjusted every year. I just make some adjustments here, right? I just make some increases just to reflect that every single year is going to be adjusted by the government. But let's say that this is 25, so it's 23,400 is the maximum that you can just make if you are already retired and if you have a part-time job. There is a condition that if you make more money, the Social Security is going to reduce the monthly payment of your pension. But that's another thing that I don't want to discuss right now, but it's a fact. If you just, wherever dollars you pass over the limitation that they have every year, that money, extra money, has a special formula, special calculation, and when they calculate that amount, they're going to reduce your monthly pension to offset the excess of that 23,400 or 24,000 or 24. Again, this is an estimate. This is not official numbers. The 23,400 it is, but the rest of the one is just an adjustment that I did to make a calculation. In other words, if you just after you make your own analysis and you believe that you can live with 32,200 because you say, okay, I'm going to receive this money for my pension plus the maximum that I can make is 32,200. You say, okay, I can live with that, that's okay, or 32, 33, 34, and so on. But again, these numbers are fictitious numbers. So you can do the same calculation, the same analysis, if you just open your Social Security account and you can go to the statement and you start making your numbers, your own analysis. This is just an idea. This is just an illustration, but that's what it is. So you have to decide, do you want to wait until the 67 or you want just to retire in any of these years? Or if you want to go to the 70, that's up to you. You can just make your own calculation how much it's going to be if you don't retire. But based on my example here, that means you're not going to receive $82,000 ahead of time. If you are a person that like to invest, probably you can, I'm going to back to my 45,000, but you can get this money. If you have some extra money and you don't need it, this is something additional, something plus, you can invest that money and it's going to be more money in 5-10 years. Anyway, that's a personal decision. If you see, I put unlimited. So after you get to the 67 and if you retire at 67, one of the things is you don't have limitations. In other words, either way, you get to the 67, after the 67, the limitation that they just probably calculate or determine every single year is going to be away, and it is not going to be a limitation. It's unlimited income. That means you're going to receive your pension, and you can make here hundreds, thousands, millions, who knows, whatever. It is not going to be limitation. Okay, so I hope this helped you to analyze your own case. And that's what it is about this video. So I hope this really understand my point that I try to express here. The one thing that really brought my attention is if I sacrifice this, how many just waiting for this? So how many years is going to I had to wait to compensate all these $45,000, which is my case, and it's 12 years. I'm pretty sure if you do your calculation with your own data, it could be going to be around 12 years. Anyway, okay, so let me go like a little bit review here. So how much can I earn and still get benefits? When you start receiving Social Security retirement benefits, the Social Security Administration accounts you as a retired. Even if you keep working, I mentioned to you, you can retire, you can just get some partial work, or you can make just as a certain limit that I mentioned to you before. You can continue working, but still you are already retired for the Social Security. You can collect your Social Security checks and still earn wages from a job. Same thing. Yeah? Collect pension and get some money from a job. But remember, there is limitations. Except for people that already 67 years old or more, there is no limitation. If you are younger than your full retirement at age 67, there is a limit on how much you can earn. I already mentioned in my Excel, which is 23,400 for 2025, before your benefits are reduced. You make it 30,000, 40,000, obviously the Social Security is going to calculate how much did you exceed the 23,400 or whatever the number is for the following years, and they just use a special formula to reduce and offset a little bit your monthly check from the pension. Starting the monthly, you reach your full retirement age 67, the limit goes away. Same that I said before. From that point on, you can earn any amount and still receiving your full Social Security benefits. Thank you very much for your time. I hope this helped to open your critical thinking about this. Go to the Social Security website, log into your account, and find out your data and make your own analysis. Thank you again, and please, if you like this video, I appreciate if you subscribe. See you soon. Any questions? It's going to be my pleasure to have your question and try to answer those. Have a good one. Thank you.